If you're over 50, pay close attention, because what I'm about to tell you could completely change how you understand women and even your own health. As the years go by, have you noticed how things start to change? Your body, your energy, even your relationships. But here's something most men don't realize. There's a side of female behavior that can directly impact your health, your vitality, and even your emotional well-being. And chances are, no one has ever told you about it. I'm talking about surprising, even shocking facts about how intimacy affects a man's body after 50, and what certain behaviors from women might secretly reveal about their desires and emotions. For example, did you know that some women have specific physical reactions during sex that can actually impact your health in unexpected ways? Or that subtle signals might be telling you way more than you realize about what she really wants? And it doesn't stop there. Sex isn't just about pleasure. It can literally be a powerful elixir for your health, helping prevent serious diseases, boosting your mood, and even helping you live longer. But here's the thing. If you're ignoring these details, you might be missing out on valuable opportunities to improve your sex life, deepen your emotional connection, and, most importantly, enhance your overall health. So, if you're over 50 and want to finally understand what's really going on behind certain female behaviors and how this could directly impact your life, stick with me until the end. I promise what you're about to learn isn't something anyone else has told you before. The female body holds secrets that most men have no idea about, and some of them are simply mind-blowing. For instance, did you know that about 1 in every 7,000 women is born without a vagina? This rare condition, known as vaginal agenesis, often goes unnoticed until puberty, when a young girl starts realizing that something is different about her body. Imagine the psychological impact. Growing up completely unaware that something so fundamental is missing, only to find out at such a crucial stage in life. But it doesn't stop there. Let's talk about something more subtle, yet just as revealing: the secret language of texting. In today's world, where most conversations happen through screens rather than face-to-face, the smallest details can say a lot. An intriguing study found that women who use a lot of emojis in their messages are more likely to open up intimately. And yes, that includes sending more provocative photos when the moment feels right. Sounds silly? Maybe. But these small digital signals often say way more than words ever could. These curiosities show that the female world goes far beyond what meets the eye. And the more you understand about their bodies and behaviors, the deeper and more meaningful your connections can become. Speaking of connections, in the next chapter, we'll dive into the emotional and sensory side, how simple touches and subtle stimuli can trigger intense reactions in a woman's body, and why so many men completely miss these crucial details. Now that you know some surprising facts about the female body, it's time to dive into something most men completely overlook. Female pleasure doesn't just come from the obvious spots. It starts in the mind and spreads throughout the body in ways you might not expect. Seemingly simple areas, like the neck or ears, can be powerful pleasure triggers. A soft kiss on the neck or a gentle touch behind the ear can spark a wave of excitement almost instantly. These areas are packed with sensitive nerve endings that, when stimulated the right way, send signals straight to the brain, setting off a chain reaction of pleasure. But here's the thing. Physical touch is only part of the equation. What really makes an intimate moment unforgettable is the emotional connection. Studies show that women experience significantly higher levels of pleasure when they feel a genuine bond with their partner. It's not just about the act itself, it's about the emotional context behind it. When there's intimacy, trust, and real involvement, the physical pleasure intensifies leading to much deeper and more meaningful experiences. Love and emotional connection aren't just romantic cliches, they're actually key ingredients for a truly satisfying sex life. When both partners are emotionally aligned, sex stops being just a physical act and becomes something far more powerful and fulfilling. And that brings us to the next question. Why does the female body react so intensely to certain types of stimulation? And how can you use that knowledge to create unforgettable, intimate experiences? In the next chapter, we'll dive into some surprising physiological reactions and what they really mean during sex. We've talked about pleasure and emotional connection, but now let's dive into something even more intriguing, the unexpected and sometimes surprising side of human sexuality. Did you know that having frequent orgasms can actually improve your reproductive health? Studies show that men who ejaculate regularly experience a significant boost in sperm quality. Why? Because regular ejaculation helps reduce DNA damage in sperm, increasing fertility. In simple terms, the pleasure you're feeling is also helping your body stay healthier on a cellular level. And this doesn't only apply to sex with a partner. Masturbation, often treated as a taboo topic, offers incredible health benefits too. Besides helping you understand your own body better, it has a direct impact on self-esteem and mental health. When you masturbate, your body releases the same pleasure and relaxation hormones as it does during sex, helping reduce stress, improve your mood, and even promote better sleep. It's a moment of self-connection that many people completely underestimate. But the world of sexuality goes far beyond what's considered normal. Some people have preferences that fall way outside the mainstream. Take formicophilia, for example. It's a practice where people get sexually aroused by insects crawling on their bodies. Sounds bizarre? Maybe. But it highlights a key truth. Human desire is vast and incredibly diverse. These facts serve as a reminder that when it comes to pleasure, there's no universal right or wrong. What matters is respect and consent between everyone involved. And the more you understand these nuances, the deeper your connection can be, both with yourself and with others. When it comes to sexuality, a lot of people still try to put others into neat little boxes. But the truth is, human desire is far more complex than most realize. And understanding that can completely change how you view relationships. Sexuality is fluid. This means that over the course of life, many people experience desires that don't always align with their primary orientation. Men and women who identify as gay, lesbian, or bisexual may have had heterosexual relationships in the past, and the opposite is just as common. These experiences don't cancel out who someone is. They simply highlight that desire isn't static. It can shift, evolve, or express itself in unexpected ways. And then there are those who don't fit into any of the traditional categories. Around 1% of the global population identifies as asexual, meaning they don't feel sexual attraction to anyone. But that doesn't mean they don't form deep emotional bonds or value meaningful relationships. For them, intimacy just doesn't involve the sexual component. This broad spectrum of orientations highlights an essential truth. Authenticity is what really matters in relationships. Desire is deeply personal, dynamic, and most importantly, unique to each individual. Respecting this diversity is the key to building deeper, more genuine connections with others and even with yourself. And if you think you've seen it all, think again. There are behaviors and statistics about human sexuality that will challenge even the most common ideas of what's considered normal. Intimacy has a funny way of showing up in the most unexpected places and moments. Did you know that about 1 in 5 people have had sex with a co-worker? The corporate world usually seen as a formal, controlled environment, can actually become a breeding ground for more intimate connections. Daily proximity, casual conversations, and natural chemistry can blur the lines between professional and personal, and sometimes those lines just disappear entirely. But it's not just the environment that sparks desire. The human body is wired to respond to subtle cues, and one of the most intriguing is something called frisson, often referred to as a skin orgasm. It's that intense sensation you feel when listening to a powerful piece of music or experiencing a deep emotional moment. Goosebumps travel down your spine, your skin tingles, and there's a wave of pleasure that has nothing to do with physical touch, but everything to do with deep emotional stimulation. And when we're talking about subtle triggers, we can't ignore the power of scent in sexual attraction. Beyond colognes and perfumes, it's actually pheromones, natural chemical signals released by the body, that play a huge role in the art of seduction. Sometimes, that unexplainable pull you feel towards someone could be directly tied to these invisible signals, awakening primal desires without you even realizing it. These small, seemingly random details reveal just how complex desire really is. Emotional, physical, and even sensory triggers, all working together, often without us having any conscious control over them. And that's part of what makes human connection so fascinating. When it comes to female pleasure, most men still believe in oversimplified ideas, but the reality is much more complex and fascinating. The female body is a true masterpiece when it comes to pleasure, and understanding how it works is the first step to creating deeper, more meaningful experiences. It all starts with the clitoris, the true epicenter of female pleasure. It contains around 8,000 nerve endings, twice as many as the penis, making it incredibly sensitive. But here's what many men don't realize. The clitoris isn't just the small external part you can see. It extends internally, wrapping around other areas and contributing to deeper sensations during sex. Now, here's a fact that surprises a lot of people. Only 80% of women can reach orgasm through penetration alone. That means the majority need clitoral stimulation to climax. This completely debunks the idea that deeper is better and highlights the importance of exploring different types of touch and pleasure. And the possibilities don't stop there. Some women can reach climax through nipple stimulation alone, thanks to the neural connection between the nipples and the genital area. And then there's the phenomenon that still sparks plenty of debate: squirting or female ejaculation. Yes, it's real. While often confused with a traditional orgasm, squirting is a distinct but equally powerful experience. Not all women experience it, but for those who do, it can be an intense release of pleasure. These variations show just how vast and unique female pleasure really is. There's no one-size-fits-all formula, only a world of possibilities waiting to be explored with patience, respect, and most importantly, curiosity. Sex isn't just physical. In fact, the emotional bonds created during intimate moments can be even more powerful than the pleasure itself. And science backs this up. During sex, the body releases a surge of hormones, and one of the most important is oxytocin, often called the love hormone. It's responsible for that deep feeling of connection and relaxation right after the act. Oxytocin literally strengthens emotional bonds between partners, boosting trust and creating a sense of intimacy that goes far beyond just the physical. This internal chemistry helps explain why women report having more orgasms in stable relationships compared to casual encounters. Emotional intimacy creates a safe and connected environment that makes pleasure easier to access. When there's trust and emotional involvement, the body relaxes, and pleasure flows much more naturally and intensely. But it's not all about feelings and romance. Couples who explore their sexual fantasies together often build even deeper bonds. Sharing secret desires and trying new experiences doesn't just add excitement, it also creates a profound sense of trust and closeness. And that connection doesn't stop at the bedroom. It carries over into other parts of the relationship, strengthening emotional intimacy and solidifying the bond between partners. In the end, true sexual satisfaction isn't about techniques or performance. It's about the connection between two people. When the body, mind, and emotions are in sync, pleasure reaches a whole new level. As time goes on, our bodies change. That's a fact. But there's a huge myth still floating around that needs to be completely debunked. It's the so-called dead vagina syndrome. A completely false idea suggesting that women can lose vaginal sensitivity from having frequent sex. That simply isn't true. The female body is designed for pleasure, and there's no limit to how much it can experience. Sensitivity doesn't fade from use. What really matters is the level of connection, desire, and excitement during intimate moments. Another major misconception is that sexual desire disappears with age. It doesn't, it just changes. As we age, the body naturally goes through changes, but the desire remains. It just needs to be stimulated in the right way. Practices like yoga have proven incredibly effective for maintaining and even improving sexual performance over the years. Yoga not only increases flexibility, but also reduces stress, improves blood circulation, and strengthens the mind-body connection, all of which directly impact your sex life. And here's something even more important for men. Maintaining an active sex life goes way beyond just pleasure. Studies show that men who have sex regularly have a lower risk of heart disease, diabetes, and may even live longer. Sex helps regulate hormones, boosts the immune system, and keeps your body moving, almost like a fun workout, with the added bonus of emotional connection. The idea that sex loses its value or importance as you get older. Just another myth. In fact, for many couples, this stage of life becomes a period of freedom and exploration without the pressures of youth. And when the body and mind are aligned, the pleasure can be even deeper and more satisfying than ever before. Relationships have changed a lot. The old rules about love and intimacy are being challenged, making room for new dynamics that break away from traditional norms. One of the most talked about models today is polyamory. Unlike classic monogamy, polyamory allows someone to have multiple emotional or sexual relationships at the same time. But here's the key: it's all based on ethics and open communication. This isn't about cheating or keeping secrets. Everyone involved knows and consents to the arrangement. For some people, polyamory offers greater emotional freedom and creates new forms of intimacy that go beyond what's considered conventional. Another trend that's become almost unavoidable in today's world is cybersex, or virtual sex. With the rise of technology and easy online connections, cybersex has become a new way to explore desire and build intimacy, even from a distance. For some couples, it's a tool to spice things up or keep the spark alive when they're apart. But like everything in the world of relationships, the impact can vary. In some cases, cybersex can strengthen a bond, while in others, it might create cracks that lead to distrust or emotional distance, especially if the boundaries between partners aren't clearly defined. These new forms of relationships and intimacy show that there isn't just one right way when it comes to love and desire. What really matters is clear communication, mutual respect, and consent, no matter what model works best for you. If there's one thing that can truly transform a relationship, it's the ability to explore fantasies openly and without judgment. And no, this isn't a sign of dissatisfaction. Quite the opposite. Sexual fantasies are a natural part of human desire and can often be the secret to reigniting that spark that tends to fade over time. What's interesting is that some fantasies are almost universal. For example, oral sex consistently ranks at the top of the list for both men and women, and it's easy to understand why. Beyond the intense pleasure, this kind of intimacy builds a deep connection between partners. It requires trust, vulnerability, and most importantly, communication. And that brings us to the key point. Communication is everything. Without it, exploring fantasies can feel awkward or even lead to insecurities. But when a couple feels safe enough to talk openly about what they like, what they desire, and even their fears, the emotional and physical bond strengthens. It's like opening a new door to intimacy, where pleasure isn't just physical, but deeply emotional as well. At the end of the day, there's no right or wrong when it comes to fantasies and desires. What matters is mutual respect, consent, and the willingness to explore together. This doesn't just keep the spark alive, it helps build more authentic and meaningful connections. If you've made it this far, you've probably realized that sexuality is much broader and more complex than it seems. It's not just about techniques or numbers. It's about connection, self-awareness, and most importantly, respecting your own desires and those of your partner. If you want to keep exploring these topics and improve your intimate life even more, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and share this video with someone who might benefit from this information. Drop a comment below. What was the most surprising fact you learned today? Or, if you have any questions or suggestions for future videos, let me know. I read every comment. See you in the next video. And remember, true pleasure goes far beyond the physical. It's born from real connection.